Senator Lindsey Graham warning Republicans to get out and vote in Georgia.
If you want to save America, if you want to save free enterprise, you want to keep the Supreme Court at 9, not 13, you want to deny legal immigrants free health care, you want to keep the border secure, win Georgia. If we lose Georgia, everything goes by the wayside.
Let's bring in our panel, Lanhee Chen and Kevin Walling. Thank you both for being here. Lanhee, I'll begin with you. Senator Graham is obviously looking at the future of the country through a prism that is the Georgia runoffs. What are your thoughts?
Well, Alicia, I think Senator Graham is correct to view this election in that way. It's consequential. Obviously, control of the Senate determines control of the Congress as a whole, and whether, in fact, Joe Biden is going to be allowed to pursue a farther left agenda or one that requires him to cooperate with Republicans and thinking about not just the future of public policy. You've talked about the tax cuts which are on the line, but also about the future of the federal judiciary, about the kinds of appointments that Joe Biden makes to his cabinet, as well as to his sub-cabinet level positions. This is a very consequential election, Alicia. It's not just about Georgia. It's not just about two people coming from Georgia. It is indeed about the fate of public policy in the U.S. for the next several years. So it is a consequential election, and I hope voters in Georgia see it that way.
Kevin, what do you think? The future of the country?
Yeah, we're in total agreement, Alicia. I mean, the stakes could not be higher for Georgia in this election next Tuesday. But I'm encouraged. Democrats, of course, are encouraged with the numbers that we're seeing on the ground. Nearly 2.5 million Georgians have already voted. That's half the number that we saw in November for the general election. I think we're seeing really strong turnout numbers in places like DeKalb County, in Fulton County, in Democratic strongholds, because they know what's at stake. A Democratic-controlled Senate would have already voted on that $2,000 stimulus package for Americans, for Georgians. So they know what's at stake in this election, and I think Democrats are really bullish about our chances.
Lanhee, on the fight right now within the Republican Party that is like front and center in Georgia, the president is attacking the governor's trying to fight back while also saying he does support the president. Lanhee, how do you think that's playing with voters, and is that going to make a difference? Because it can be a little confusing.
Yeah, it can be a little confusing. And I think it's a complicated issue. You've got Republicans on different sides of this issue. Obviously, some are in favor, like the president, of increasing the amount of the stimulus checks, and others have concerns about the deficit and debt implications. But regardless of the situation, I think Georgia voters are going to look beyond this immediate debate, and they are going to think about the broader issues at stake. Look, Republicans have been on the ground in Georgia since the day after the election. They've been working hard, knowing that there would be these two runoff elections. You've got every single likely voter in the Republican universe contacted 10 times or more. You've got 1,000 staffers on the ground for the Republican Senatorial Committee. So there's a lot of things that Republicans are doing really to make sure that Georgia voters understand, regardless of the issues at stake, regardless of the specific fight over these stimulus checks right now, what is at stake between a Republican-controlled Senate and a Democratic-controlled Senate come the election next Tuesday.
Yeah, and Kevin, Democrats have their own problems. Biden is in a tug of war with the left wing of his party, and that continues. And Nancy Pelosi is seeing the same thing. Georgia voters, I mean, if they're watching this play out and they think that they might hand over all of the control to Democrats, that might make them nervous.
It's a good point, Alicia. And of course, you know, the the president-elect is traveling to Georgia the day before the election to rally the troops in Fulton County, in Atlanta. You see Kamala Harris, the vice president-elect, traveling to Savannah on Sunday. Because of those dynamics, I think on the ground, they want to be the biggest tent possible to turn out the vote. There's a huge emphasis on African-American turnout, of course, with those visits to Savannah, to Atlanta. So it's anyone's guess how Tuesday will actually play out.
Gentlemen, thank you both. Happy 2021 to both of you.
Happy New Year, Alicia.
Happy New Year.